Is John Jones scared to fight you?
Yes.
I understand if you can't answer this question, but damn it, I'm going to ask anyway. Is there a fight that Dana White wants to see in the UFC above all else in 2025?
So I get asked this every year, and this year, it would be Aspinall Jones.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such a tool that I don't want to do business with him.
Ahead of an anticipated fight between two legendary heavyweight fighters for the championship belt, Tom Aspinall makes some cheeky comments targeting John Jones on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. Tom Aspinall has been vocal about wanting to fight John Jones, but for all his posturing, the bout has yet to be scheduled. In Aspinall's view, Jones has been dodging the fight, offering up all manner of excuses for delaying or rejecting it. He has even accused Jones of conning him, suggesting that the UFC legend is tactically ducking the bout while keeping up appearances. Aspinall has vented his frustration over the situation, feeling that he poses a genuine threat to Jones but is not being allowed the chance to demonstrate it in the octagon. Former UFC fighter and current analyst Chael Sonnen offered a different take on the scenario, speculating that the notion of John Jones flat out ducking Tom Aspinall could be an oversimplification. In Sonnen's view, sure, it's simple to characterize the scenario as Jones ducking a risky bout, but there are probably other reasons behind it that haven't been adequately explained to the public. He suggested that contractual agreements, injury rehab, or even UFC business strategy might be the cause of the delay and not Jones simply avoiding Aspinall. Sonnen's perspective gives the debate an added depth, reminding fans that what appears on the surface isn't always the whole picture.
We got Aspinall and we got Jones. We don't have a fight. And we are only as good as the information that we are being given. I just have to remind you, slowly, calmly, and seemingly often, that this idea that John Jones will not fight Tom Aspinall, or that John Jones is the one holding up the fight with Tom Aspinall, that is not information that we've actually been given. That is information that we have accepted based on other information.
Bisping has never been shy to speak up for UK fighters, but his quote isn't one of patriotism. It's a nod to Aspinall's versatile skill set. He sees that Aspinall's blend of power, speed, and technical skill might cause serious issues for Jones, especially considering that Aspinall is among the division's most athletic heavyweights. Although Bisping isn't exactly calling for an Aspinall win, he does admit that there's a legitimate possibility the interim champion might be the one to defeat Jones, something that few fighters have even come close to accomplishing. John Jones, get on and fight Tom Aspinall, or retire. This one from Bisping is more blunt, encouraging Jones to decide what he wants to do with his UFC career. With Jones's extended time off due to injury and history of long layoffs between fights, there has been increasing frustration among fans and pundits about whether or not he will return to defend his title. Bisping's comment indicates the gravity of the situation. Either Jones needs to take on the challenge and fight Aspinall, or he needs to back off and let the division proceed without him. I think Jones studies him Aspinall and beats him. Velasquez's opinion stems from his own background as a dominant heavyweight, a man who used pressure, stamina, and high fight IQ to wear out his opponents. He feels Jones's capacity to adjust and prepare for various styles will be the deciding factor in this bout. Velasquez is stressing that Jones possesses one of the highest fight IQs in the sport, and with sufficient time to deconstruct Aspinall's weaknesses and strengths, he believes Jones will find a way to take away Aspinall's largest tools. Although he believes Aspinall to be an actual threat, Velasquez has faith that Jones will get the adjustments needed to secure a victory. I believe John Jones has a lot of experience on his side. Pereira boils it down and makes a telling point. While Aspinall has proven himself as a top-tier fighter, he hasn't faced the same level of competition or been in as many high-stakes situations as Jones. Jones has been competing at the championship level for over a decade, defending titles against a variety of elite fighters, which gives him an advantage in terms of composure and strategic thinking. Experience counts when it comes to high-stress battles, and Pereira points out that this may be the deciding factor in a hypothetical match. Current UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley was not shy when speaking about the possibility of Jon Jones dodging a bout against Tom Aspinall. He was frustrated with how both fans and analysts alike appeared to be letting Jones off the hook, even though Aspinall has been going out of his way to promote the fight. O'Malley noted that although Jones's legacy is not up for debate, the notion that he can simply sit out and refuse to defend his position against a top challenger like Aspinall just doesn't feel right to him. He further added that the acceptance by the public of Jones avoiding or postponing the fight only serves to make it more frustrating, as it breeds a double standard in the sport.
Fuck. Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like everyone, it's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time, greatest of all, Jon Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. And then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime, so you're still the greatest of all time. But are you? Like, what do you do? Just completely avoid that fight?
I don't think Jon Jones is thinking that way.
Moving on, in a recent video, Tom Aspinall explains why his style is an unknown quantity and how training in the UK provides him with a tactical advantage. He compares his training to that of fighters in the US, who often train with each other, so their skills are more known quantities to each other. Aspinall feels his style makes him a more unpredictable and dangerous fighter because he brings something different to the table. He has every confidence because he sees this as a big advantage going into a possible fight against Jon Jones. For Aspinall, this unusual training configuration makes him a serious title contender.
Of his opponents, yeah. He's a massive tape studier. Like, that's one of the things that he does best. And the tapes are just not really out there of me. And the fact that I live over here as well, I think it's a massive... I think some people see it like as a detriment living in the UK away from it. For me personally, I think it's amazing because, like, when I go to Vegas and training, like, I see how intertwined everybody is with each other's business and stuff. And like, I'm out here and I'm just doing my own thing and nobody knows anything about me, and I love it.
Aspinall blurts out a hot statement for Jones, aiming to poke the lion. He made accusations against Jones, claiming that he is doing everything he can to avoid this fight. Tom also referenced former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou having the same situation as him, and stated that Jones, just like back then, doesn't want to fight him at this stage in his career. Aspinall explained how Jones uses his ways to redirect any sort of attention towards a fight against him, manipulating the general public without the public realizing it, and has basically been ducking him for the past year as he did the same for Francis for 4 years.
Ask this question right now for the clip. Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the thing with Jon is conning the public, man. He didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years. And now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year. And he just, the way he manipulates the media and the public is super smart. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Aspinall explains that his motivation for the bout is not proving supremacy over Jon Jones or conducting a personal feud. Rather, he reiterates that this is all about the championship. He recognizes the comparisons online with Michael Chandler's quest for a fight against Conor McGregor, but distances himself from the narrative. Since the interim heavyweight title holder, Aspinall, perceives this bout as a means of cementing his legacy as opposed to mending any personal grudge. His attention is geared towards creating something historic within the sport and not the traditional trash talk or hype built on rivalry.
See people online saying, like, you know, the thing that happened with Conor and Chandler?
Yeah.
People are like, don't be like Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not about the fighting Jon. It's about the UFC heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a version of the title, but I wanna be the undisputed champion. That's all it is. It doesn't matter about Jon. I'm trying to be the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's it.
Amid all this bashing, another key factor that Aspinall mentioned was the controversy regarding Jon Jones taking performance-enhancing drugs before fights.
And stuff like that, I think.
Damn.
But he definitely, like, skill for skill, he's one of the top 3 fighters ever. I'm not debating that at all.
What drug? What drug are you talking about specifically?
Well, he's done a few. I think he's done a few.
I can't tolerate the Jon Jones slander, bro. It was a fluke.
It was
a recreational. You know, he has fun.
Is slander not when you're saying something that's inaccurate?
That is true.
No, I don't think so.
that's the definition of it.
No.
It is.
Somebody
it is
Google
slander,
that's libel. think.
I think slander, the definition is that you've said something that's
Yeah,
not
I
true.
thought it's basically
when you say something
when
that's
you're publicly
true,
saying, and it's true.
you're in the clear.
John,
Jones has, on more than one occasion, tested positive for prohibited substances. In 2016, he was withdrawn from UFC 200 just days before his fight against Daniel Cormier for a failed drug test. He had tested positive for clomiphene and letrozole, which are drugs that are usually used for performance enhancement. He had protested, claiming he did not know he was taking them, but it earned him a 1-year suspension.
This week in MMA, the UFC has officially been sold, UFC 200 results, and Jon Jones tests positive for drugs. Again.
In 2017, after beating Daniel Cormier at UFC 214, he had tested positive for turinabol, an anabolic steroid. The result was subsequently overturned to no contest, and he lost his title again. He was in line for a possible 4-year suspension, but USADA lowered his suspension to 15 months based on cooperation and the potential use of a contaminated supplement. The ruling was met with controversy since most people felt that he got favorable treatment.
Daniel Cormier last month. What does this mean for Jones's future?
Jones was subsequently implicated in another case where he had traces of turinabol in his system prior to his UFC 232 bout against Alexander Gustafsson. The Nevada State Athletic Commission declined to sanction the bout, and the whole event was relocated to California on short notice. The UFC defended him by saying that the levels found were the result of pulsing, a condition where traces of previous steroid use reappear without any new use. This response was widely disputed in the MMA community. Apart from PEDs, Jones has had problems with drugs too. In 2015, following his bout with Cormier at UFC 182, he tested positive for cocaine for an out-of-competition test. Although cocaine is not prohibited outside of a competition, the failed test complemented his bad boy image. Meanwhile, Aspinall was queried regarding a potential bout with Alex Pereira should he beat Jon Jones. In reply, he showed respect for Pereira's striking and what presents him as such a formidable opponent. He complimented Pereira's technical skill set, knockout potential, and general fight IQ, and how these traits have made the Brazilian so effective in the UFC. But Aspinall also mentioned an important issue: weight. Pereira now fights light heavyweight, 205 pounds, and has fought in the past at middleweight, 185 pounds, so he would have to step up considerably to heavyweight, 265 pounds, for the bout to take place. This brought up questions of whether Pereira could really deal with the size and strength of legitimate heavyweights. Aspinall was still on board with the idea, but he did acknowledge that the difference in weight might be a big factor in determining how competitive the fight would ultimately be.
News as of 8 hours ago is already talking about the fight that comes after it. So he's saying basically that the winner is going to fight Pereira.
I like it. I love it.
Who is a scarier opponent for you, Alex or Jon?
I think that's a tough question. You know what? Even though I might be saying all this stuff about Jon or whatever, I am not disputing his skills. He's
it doesn't sound like it.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't sound like it.
The same with Alex. One of the most dangerous guys, in my opinion, to ever fight in the UFC. He has that, I don't even know what you call it. He just has the thing where he touches you and you just die. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's unbelievable. I've never seen anybody.
Alex Pereira, ex-UFC light heavyweight champion, has shown a willingness to fight Tom Aspinall under certain conditions. According to Pereira, he would agree to a fight against Aspinall if Aspinall were to become the unified champion by unifying the heavyweight belts against Jon Jones and winning to become the undisputed champion. Pereira noted his readiness to engage at heavyweight, but underscored the importance of Aspinall being in possession of the unified title as a key determinant for that fight. And so here we are, at the doorstep of one of the most interesting heavyweight bouts in UFC history. Tom Aspinall is knocking on greatness's door, and Jon Jones, well, he's standing there on the other side, holding it closed. Or so goes the narrative many are painting. No matter if you think Jones is biding his time strategically, resting from injury, or flat out skipping the fight, this much is true. The fight to be made in the heavyweight division is this showdown. Aspinall, with his explosive speed, well-rounded game, and relentless hunger, represents a new era of heavyweights, one that moves like a middleweight but hits like a freight train. On the other hand, Jones, the longest reigning king of dominance, has seen it all, adapted to it all, and outclassed them all. But the question remains, can he do it again? Then there's the wild card, Alex Pereira. Might he be next in line for Aspinall? Or is this a fight that makes better sense in the future? The MMA universe is abuzz. The storylines are building and the heat is on. Whether or not this fight goes down next, Aspinall has made it clear he ain't waiting. And for Jones, legacy hangs in the balance. Let us know in the comments, who takes it if this fight goes down? Does Jones still possess the magic, or is it Aspinall time? And hey, if you liked the breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more fight analysis, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the biggest stories in MMA. Until then, remain vigilant, remain prepared, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.